don't know how much fun this has been. We concur.
Take your sweet time.
There it is. There it is. Son of a gun, right down the middle of the road. There it is. There it is. Son of a gun, right down the middle of the road.
Because in the previous episode we already saw this creature, and 10,000 years BC it was at planet Earth. Its target was the moon. It flew closer to it, and with a tentacle strike destroyed Earth's satellite. The moon shattered into small pieces, and all these small pieces flew towards Earth. And also you know that the moon creates its own gravitational pull, but this pull is now gone. The moon is completely destroyed, and from this began a tsunami, and of course a rain of moon rocks. Because of this terrible event, insane cataclysms began. But still, the moon appeared later. All this happened because of this creature, which from its mouth produced a new satellite for our planet. You could say it's an exact copy of our moon, but this is already a living creature. Before this episode, I assumed that the moon was just originally like that. This creature placed it there. But it turned out the moon was previously a normal ordinary satellite and was replaced. And planet Earth itself recovered after such horror. Next we observe how this same creature places several more of these monsters. And here it's unclear whether there are many of these creatures that create planets, or if it's just such an editing decision. We'll probably find out in the next episodes, but for now, I'll lean towards this creature being one of a kind. And notice something else interesting. This creature only places satellites. It doesn't create planets, meaning the planets were infected, apparently, by these satellites. All planets were infected, except planet Earth. But more on that later. Let's move forward. Because the events of the expedition to another universe continue. In the same place, this creature created a satellite around an unknown planet. The Friend Industries pilots are still observing this, and they're alive. One of them even managed to go to the bathroom, and he was very surprised when he saw this creature, because apparently he was in the bathroom this whole time and missed everything. And he says this creature looks like a cephalopod lunar progenitor, a zero-class celestial being. But it's also obvious that this creature is unknown to humanity, which the artificial intelligence confirms. The pilot jokes, "Looks like my great-aunt Patricia," and the artificial intelligence confirms this information. The pilots reason that even their weapons won't be able to damage this creature. And also Neptune has been watching them all this time, who won't let them do anything. At this moment, the artificial intelligence says, "According to my calculations, if you fly straight into its frontal part and blow up the lunar engine, the explosion should be enough to..." The pilot stops the AI, saying they won't do that. A small argument ensues, during which they decide to think about it some more. Then the second ship we were following in the previous episode starts making contact. They say their ship is now heavily damaged, and they only have one jump left. But their dialogue is interrupted by the artificial intelligence, which says, "Alert, gravitational displacement of entity detected. Evasive maneuvering is suggested." The creature actually starts moving. It's kind of floating through space, and it's floating towards Neptune. The ships watching all this don't interest it. By the way, Neptune was initially even happy about this event, possibly anticipating something. The creature stuck its tentacles into his mouth and eyes. One of the pilots says, "What the hell are we watching right now?" And says, "This is definitely a first time for me too." Confirmed, looks weird, and Neptune seems to be feeling bad. Notice how the emotion of joy changed to fear and pain. The artificial intelligence announces danger again. Anomalous space flow detected. Another breach opens, from which a hand emerges, and we've seen this hand before. The same hand that took the living planets around planet Earth. The pilot is surprised, saying, "I thought all this was just fairy tales my grandfather told me." The pilot from the other ship says, "Maybe this is our only chance to find out what this thing is. We have one lunar flow left." The moon takes Neptune, and the Friend Industries ship departs using the lunar engine.